Good evening. It is the Everton Club Call on the day that Jarrod Branthwaite has signed a new 5-year deal with the football club, keeps him here till 2030, which basically sounds like the space age.
Listen, if we get to 2030, we've done well. We've done well.
It feels like that at the moment.
We've done well. So,
but yeah, good news for the Blues.
Great stuff. Why wasn't it 8 years?
Because we're not Chelsea.
Someone will be asking that question today. Why haven't we done 8 years? Amortised it?
I mean, we will amortise it, but I just don't know. But yeah, it's really good news and obviously protects the asset, as they say.
Protects Everton having a good defence.
And also, more importantly, protects Everton actually having a good defence, which some people forget is quite important.
Yeah.
That you have to have a team with footballers in. So brilliant news for Everton. Mr. Blue Sky says, delighted with Jarrod signing. He's a top 4 player. We need more like him. We said it when we done the defence review. Statistically, Everton's defence is like a top 4 defence on the numbers and the clean sheets and that. Can we get other players that are a top 4 midfield and lads who put the ball in the net? We might be all right.
That's the job, isn't it? That's the job.
It is.
Move this football club forward to becoming quality.
Carl says, as important as electricity. He's buzzing over the news. But gas pipes says quite important, but there's more pressing issues.
I think electricity is quite important.
I think he was saying, he wasn't denying Carl's electricity thing. He was saying about the Branthwaite news.
Can't things happen simultaneously?
Possibly.
Things happening that just didn't get announced today, and then, this did get announced today, because maybe tomorrow there'll be another announcement.
Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be? Everton closing in on the signing of Tieno Barry. That's coming out of Spain today. Says the deal's been agreed, 27 million plus 6 million in add-ons. He's agreed personal terms with Everton, and that's why he's gone off on holiday, because it's all done.
Nice.
We'll see whether there's any reality in. I mean, that quite easily could be what has happened. He's been away at the Euros with France, and he's on his holiday now. Carl said Tieno Barry deal could drag on for a bit with him being on his jollies in Miami.
Or Everton could just announce it.
If it's done, isn't it?
I suppose it'd be medical, won't it?
Well, he might have even had his medical, mightn't he?
Could have his medical in Miami.
Yeah. As long as the agreements are done in the club and that, it's done, isn't it? Tommy says Moyes is in Miami too. And he's not. He was, but he's not. He come home at the weekend. So he actually was back here before Tieno got there, but he has been in Miami. Maybe he's left them, like a thing in his room, off Moyes. The information pack and everything.
Like a big fruit basket?
Well, a welcome pack, yeah. To Tieno. Love, Davey. Who knows?
The gaffer.
Who knows? The gaffer. Leandrino says Tieno Barry. He floats like a butterfly and scores like a Dixie.
Yeah, that's rubbish.
It's not going to work.
That's absolutely rubbish.
It's not going to work.
What, are you 6?
You could have let him down a bit.
No, I don't believe in letting people down easy.
Okay.
I believe that you should tell them straight, and then they'll go away and work on it. Okay.
Do you think Danny Chertas Moyes is over there? He's not. He's back here. Apparently he's back here, and he apparently came back at the weekend. The Everton crest that's up. What colour is it going to be? Because the one that went up looked black. Other people have said it's going to be white illuminations.
It'll be illuminated, won't it?
Some have said blue, some have said silver.
I don't know.
All right. You're normally into all that stuff.
No one said though, have they?
I know, but you normally watch drone videos.
What drone video? People don't know what colour it's going to be.
No, they could have. Sure, drone man, Mr. Drone would have gone over and had a little look at it with his drone.
I don't think. But how would you? They're not testing the bulbs.
Nobody might there might be that film on it.
Message someone and find out.
I don't know.
You've literally got the ability to message people and find out.
Do in a minute.
Get on to Big Mark.
All right. God. Mark Watts.
Yeah.
I'll message him in a minute.
He looks like Kane's dog.
People asking for news on Tieno Barry. We've only got what you've got. The stuff coming out of Spain today basically says it's done. So make of that what you will. Until he's got the Everton shirt or the scarf, whatever, then it's never done, is it? As we've seen with Kenny Tete, who signed a 3-year contract with Fulham, apparently.
With an option for a 4th.
Mm-hmm. So fair play to him. And his legs stay on. But yeah, Dave Wilson says, hi lads, if you heard about Idrissa Gana Gay yet, really hope he stays. I think he is staying. The Echo and Paddy Boylan had done an article for The Athletic as well today, talking about Jared, then said they're expecting Michael Keane and Idrissa to sign within the next day. And obviously Tieno Barry is very close as well. And Paddy does get the nod off Everton. Because that's what happens at the journalist, isn't it? So you can only sort of take Paddy at his word there. So if that's the case, then yeah, we're expecting to hear. I mean, to be fair, we have heard the last few days. It's whatever day it's going to be announced now. We're just waiting for the nod on that. To keep refreshing, just in case Everton have gone with a little R5. But me and James were saying it probably makes sense really to do it tomorrow and then keep the...
No, you don't make announcements on the same day.
Keep the good news flowing,
you make PR announcements at different times.
Momentum, isn't it? So, probably be tomorrow we hear about Idrissa. The players are back on Friday for their testing. And then obviously, I'm not sure if the manager will have them in over the weekend doing pre-season, but we have got a game sort of a fortnight yesterday, haven't we? So... Willie, 8-9 days training before they play. So maybe Davy Moyes would be Sunday, maybe back in to start, but I don't know. But they're definitely in on Friday. They're all back, and you'll get all the pictures of them waving. Well,
I'll be honest. There'll be
8 pictures.
I only look for the training gear.
Of course you do. I'm just saying. No, but you'll get all of those pictures. Yeah. Look who's and the wash bag and the wave. I used to love it with Jags to see what he looked like, because he looks superb. Yeah, the tan, the hair.
James just doesn't get our love of Jags and the tan, does he? Just doesn't get it whatsoever.
He just looks so good.
It's just such of a different era.
It's just been built up so much.
Just get Everton away kit launch 2013. Jags by the pool in America. If there's not a bit of appreciation for your Everton skipper in that, James, then you're in trouble.
Someone said I'm hungry. I've just had 2 Kit Kats. One is a Nescafe mocha flavour and the other one is a dark chocolate flavour. So I'm not hungry. I'm just
because you said he wasn't very good. The song
fucking rubbish. That's why I was putting him in this. I was just letting him know. Listen, too much of this. Kids go along all their lives. People go, that was great. When it was terrible. It's why they don't get anywhere in life. They need to be told. James came in first day, did a thumbnail for me. It was garbage. I told him now he's making amazing thumbnails.
He is making
amazing thumbnails. He's just off the charts, this boy. But on day 1, he was garbage, and he had to be told he was garbage. And that's just. There's nothing wrong with that.
Tough love.
It's not even tough love. It's just love. Honestly. Now he comes in with like a swagger of a lad.
Not worked with him, James, has it?
What?
It's not working with him. All the stuff we've said to him.
Tough. He comes in with a lad with the swagger of someone who went to a scrapyard and bought something from his car, and simultaneously got Lego for his birthday off his sister.
And
living the dream. Living the dream. Yeah, but she went on holiday. If she hadn't brought him Toblerone, she would have been breaking the holiday code.
That's true.
That is true, isn't it? That's true.
Fair play. What have I just seen here?
By the way, this is the club call. Please give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us a call. What do you think of the 1878 statement that has been put out?
So what has it said? Because you just said there's been a 1878 statement. You didn't say what it was. You did. You've sort of made some mad comment, but I don't believe that was real.
Any mad comment? And also, why couldn't you have gone and looked at it yourself? Or was that effort?
I think I was too busy recording the news and then getting a drink before we done this show. Elvis, you could just relay the info.
Something very exciting you can plug that's coming out tonight though, Baz.
Can.
Give people who are watching a teaser.
Watch it. Watch it.
That's not a teaser.
I'm building up. Inside the Game podcast, 6:30. Go over there and watch it. Very good. Very good.
I'll tell you what the 1878.
It's very good.
Right.
Go on.
In the future, as a group, whilst we never forget our ex-players, our great teams of the past, and the history we had at Goodison Park, we feel now it is vitally important to put our main focus on our current and future players and managers that we have at Everton. The majority of our displays, tifos, new flags will be referenced to the current side, and they will be the focal point going forward. We feel it is our job as fans to show them an unwavering support that can help push them to the next level and make them believe that they can achieve great things at our football club and put the bad recent years behind them. A new era for our club is about to start. And from the very first game at our new stadium, we need our players to feel like it's home. The players and the manager state on a regular basis how important the fans are and how it helps when we are behind them. Let's use the noise of our new stadium will generate to our advantage at every game there and let the players know that they have 50,000 Evertonians behind them. Dixie Dean, the Holy Trinity, the brilliant 80s sides and many more of the legends will never be forgotten, but it is now time to make our current and future players believe they can become heroes here too. Evertonians have proven as a fan base that they can help our players get out of situations at the wrong end of the table, no matter how bad they may be. Now it's time to push things the opposite way and help direct our club to long-awaited success again. This may take a bit more time, but as we always said, together anything is possible. And then they quote tweeted it because I think they got a little bit of stick. All the flags we used at Goodison Park with legends and ex-players will still be used in our displays. We just won't be getting any more made with any older or ex-players on unless it is to commemorate an occasion. Our main focus is on the current and future players, managers.
Fair play. Well done. Well done. Let's all back them because they work hard, get behind them. They made it really impressive at Goodison and got the atmosphere up big time for some games where it needed it, and obviously the team responded. Gary Ward says Jared Branthwaite signing keeps together one of the best partnerships in the league.
Absolutely.
And statistically it does. Martin Kitney says, I'm delighted he is signed. Just need Garner to sign and move on to building the squad with fresh new players. Don would have been good to retain as a backup, but the rest who've left are really not up to it and just drag the quality down. Very hopeful on the new season ahead. Dick L's in the comments on a Wednesday.
I simply don't believe it.
Tough summer so far, lads. I was in a good mood when Moyes returning. The new stadium and looking like we've turned a financial corner. But the RS at work have been unbearable. Apparently they've signed the best player in the world. And some guy who likes to ping pong and not spend a penny because according to PSR they still have the Coutinho money. And once Quansah and Elliott have been sold, they'll make even more money in. They do my head in, lads. Have you got anything to say to Dick? Keep him upright.
The only thing I would say to Dick is the same thing I've been saying to Dick for a while. Get a new fucking job. Honestly, I just don't have any of it in my life. I have none of it in my life whatsoever. On my social media feeds, I have every word associated with that club blanked out. Honestly, I follow very, very few Liverpool fans. They do not come into my world, even though we share a building with them. They never come into my world. I keep all of that out. It's bad. The world of Everton is enough to try and get round. Just honestly, mate. Everything you've just said there refers to another football club, not our football club. Just walk in, just give them the fingers, put it on the desk, and tell everyone to fuck off and walk out and go and put a mask on of Ned and get home to your missus. That's what I'm saying.
He also said we need a summer signing to give Everton fans something to shout about. I don't think the RS are bothered about Angus Gunn.
But then again, right? Hang on. How are you ever going to win that argument? Ever? Apart from maybe saying that they were beaten by someone else to win something, or we win a Merseyside derby, you are never going to win that argument ever. Especially people who don't live in this city, who can't when you live in this city, there's certain things you can give and take from them, at least. But when you don't live in this city and you live in that other world, then it's impossible to win that fight ever. So just don't have the arguments in the first place. I have nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them whatsoever. It's pointless.
Okay.
I think that's the... what else can you say?
No, you can't, can you? Because you just can't. Nothing you can say that just get yourself in the right pickle. So don't. Just ignore it. And Angus Gunn doesn't play for Everton, by the way. So,
no.
And if he signs, so what? Right, we've got our first caller.
Ooh.
And it's Tinks, I think, James said. So, Tinks, are you there?
No one in.
Can't hear
Tinks?
Can't anything. Unmute yourself.
I can see your mouth moving, but no audio's coming through.
No.
Right, we're trying to get James. Give us a thumbs up when you get Tinks. Oh, hang on. Gone. Tinks.
Yeah.
Can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, mate, what do you want to say?
Okay. I watch your channel all the time.
Okay.
Back in January, when the Freegans took over,
Yeah.
how impressed have you been with what you've done so far from behind the scenes?
Since. Well, as you know, if you watch it all the time, I wasn't massively impressed how quickly they got around to doing certain things. I thought they'd be ahead of it when they got in. But they got rid of the other fella quite quickly, much to my delight. And to be fair, what I've heard, it's slowly got better and better. I guess we won't know ultimately for a few months, will we, to see how this window goes. But they've made some I think they've made some positive changes. They've obviously got a new CEO who's actually qualified to be the CEO, which is a huge step forward for Everton. I think it's the first one since Michael Dunford, who has been actually qualified to be our chief executive officer. We had Trevor Birch for about 5 weeks back in 2004, and he would have been good. So that was a big plus to get Angus Kinnear in. They've got other people in on the recruitment side. They brought they brought commercial people in. So they have sort of got things going, or rather they've put people in place who are professionals to do that. But you need to start seeing results, really, don't you, before you can sort of go, these have been really good for us. But I guess for an opening sort of, 6-7 months now, it seems like they're doing the right thing. But I don't think we'll be able to tell for a while yet. But I mean, Ped, you have more of this chat than me in other groups with what they're doing. I mean, have you been sort of impressed with what you've seen of them? Have they done enough for you? What else do they need to sort of do for you?
I thought they sacked Dyche remarkably quickly. Like, I think that they took enough time to get things in place to sack him. So I think that was good. I think January we didn't panic, which is another good thing. Now, whether that was by design or just fell that way, then we'll never know. But I think off the pitch, again, who knows for the time being? Like, they've got their name, they've got the naming rights in place for the stadium. Financially, we'll see how that shakes out, but that's in place. Not everyone's cup of tea, but we'll see we'll see how that shakes out financially. And I think we've brought in people in all the main positions, got rid of all the people in the higher up positions at the football club, which is something that the guy before didn't really bother doing. Needed a massive shake up, and we did that. I think it's still early. I think it really still early. I'd like to see maybe some big commercial deals done in terms of like the shirt and the shirt sponsor and things like that. And really, say to people, this is what we've done. Maybe it's a little bit early. Maybe we're stuck in...
Yeah, it's sponsored next season.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's a bit early, so we're stuck in contracts at the moment. But, there's ways to getting out of contracts. So I'd like to see some big movement on that side as well. And hope that in the next couple of weeks we get, a few more big sponsors in place, maybe for the stadium or things like that. But I think there's a lot going on under the surface at the moment that we're not. It's the same with the transfer stuff, isn't it? It's like, I don't think you can make a judgment at the very, very start. You can only make a judgment certainly on this window when the dust settles and we're into September and we know what we've got and what we did. We get everything we needed? Did we get enough players? And because it is the first summer, you can't sort of. I personally don't believe that you can start pointing fingers at anyone. Because we could sign 5 players next week and things could be completely different.
We won't know. We won't know.
So I think the proof for us as fans is definitely our experiences going the game, which we haven't had one yet in terms of the new stadium, and what we bring in this summer, and we won't know that till September. So still a little bit early, but I like that they get on with it. They're getting on with it. It's not being overblown. There's not stories about them every day, or he's getting involved with the transfers or anything like that. It's being left to the professionals, and ultimately, I think that's what we all want.
What have you thought?
I think they've got a long-term plan, which is nice to see for a change.
Yeah.
Compared to the last owner that just wanted to come in and just splash the cash and not ever realise what he was doing. Yeah. I think these now have actually got an idea of how a football club should be run. I think they understand how to get the commercial side of things right, behind the scenes right. Let the manager get on with doing what he does on the pitch, back him. And if he fails, which I very much doubt, because I trust Moyes anyway, because I think he's a fantastic manager.
Yeah.
I think everything at the moment for Everton is looking on the up. Everything's on the up at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I think you're right with Moyes. The trust is there, and I think you've got to have a plan, haven't you? Because if you just keep throwing money at it, you're hoping that something sticks, and B, it's just not. You're not allowed to do that anymore, and you get into bother, which is where we've just been. So we do need sort of like a methodical plan of
I think
where we want to go.
I think they're doing everything right, especially with Bramley Moore. Oh, sorry, Hill Dickinson, I should say.
Well, whatever.
Trying to regenerate the city, create more jobs and all stuff like that. I think they're doing a fantastic stuff behind the scenes, which is to me is something I wasn't expecting from Everton Football Club. To be honest with you, I didn't think we had that capability.
I think these the big thing we keep saying, don't we? The running at our football club should be run. I think what they're doing, and that is correct, by the way. But I think what they're doing is they're just running it like a business should be run, and I don't think Everton have been run like. I mean, I worked there a long time ago now, but I worked there for 11 years, and it was very much a small, like. The reference has been used many times, but it was like a sort of small corner shop. Yeah. It's how it was ran, like a family friend, we're all in it together. And Everton kept that going. And you can't be like that. You're playing with billionaires who were doing it in many different ways. And I think what these have seemed to be doing, and again, it's early, they seem to be running it how you would expect a business to be run. I think you said a couple of times, you're right, Ped, and I think John Blaine said this, we shouldn't really even be talking about the owners. No. What they're doing is, we can't, but what it feels like they've done is put in professionals to get on with it. And that may be the biggest difference. We were talking
about this the other day. They don't run like 2 football clubs and that's it. These people run multiple businesses. They have they have their car dealerships, which is like, it's not just a few like people, it's not people's Fords. This is like a massive thing that's been going on for 60 years throughout their family. They've got the films, they've got the hotels and luxury resorts
and the experience,
and then they've got two massive football clubs, or they believe, we all believe, massive football clubs. And they're letting the people run it, and if they believe they put the right people in place to run the football clubs, people with experience. One thing I'd love them to do, right, and maybe this is not the right moment, and we've talked about this before, and you've just sort of mentioned it when you talked about trying to regenerate or revitalise an area, that's something I would really love to see them do. And I've said this before, obviously, but I would really love them to put their money where their mouths are and go, do you know what? We are sort of taking ownership of this area. This is becoming an Everton area. There's so much opportunity. That starts for me, by building an arena next to the stadium. I honestly can't. I can't stress enough how for me how important it would be for the city to build an arena that can go up against the Co-op in Manchester. So it's not just 3, 4, 5 concerts in the summer. It's somewhere which is 365 kind of arena. So that's what I would love to do. And also, I'd also love them, right, to say to the city, this one's probably even more pie in the sky than the last one. I would love them to say to the city, love it. Honestly, no, I would. I would love it if they went to the council and said, here's the money. We're building a railway station. The railway station for this stadium, which is going to be like catapult this whole area into having fantastic transport links, so people can, whether they're coming to concerts, football games, rugby games, no matter what it is, the people can get off the train and walk down the road and they can see the stadium when they get off that train. I would love them to see them do something like that really opens up that area. And it says straight, and it's basically called the Everton Stadium Station, or whatever you want to call it. And straight away you're saying to everyone, and this is what probably Manchester City have done, haven't they? But this would be in a smaller way, is you're saying to people straight away, this is our area. This is all, you come to this area straight away, you get a feeling it's Everton. There's a presence, because we've spoken about far too much of our city feels like it's nothing to do with Everton, and you go around the city centre. We've got to change that. We know we've got to change that. We've got to get more kids, more people wearing Everton gear on the streets. We've got to make our area though feel like it connects to the city centre, and I think a new transport hub would do that and have that connectivity to make that area, starting literally right by at the top of it, feel like it's an Everton area. And that means murals, that means different bars, different pubs, different restaurants having an Everton identity to them, because people, as they walk back into town or they get on those trains, start using those places, and we have an area which we feel like is dedicated to our football club. And I think that's something they can do. Don't be relying on the council or the Metro, mate, because they ain't never doing that for us, as far as I'm concerned. We've got to do that ourselves, and I would love to. That's something I would love to see the owners do. Love it.
You have gone full Keegan on me, but yeah.
The other thing as well is with the Freakins. I know it's only early days with them and stuff like that. And what we just touched on very, very slightly is, in the future type of thing for the generation of the area and everything else. Yeah. But I seem to like the way that they're doing things, where they want Everton Football Club to be self-sufficient. Yeah. We've got to make their own money to progress forward, rather than them putting the funds in. And that's, to me, is how people who have owned so many companies don't have to keep on bailing the football club out. The football club themselves should be able to generate their own money and their own income to take us forward.
It's got to become self-sustainable. That's how it's got to be. Exactly. And the best people, the best clubs are run like that, aren't they? Or try to be run like that. I think even Liverpool's owners put bits in now and again, but in general, you've got to become self-sustainable, and that might be.
Well, PSR dictates that, doesn't it?
I think it's
and that's something that but we've said this, and we say this quite a lot. The only way that's going to happen is if you offered the fan base opportunities to buy what they want to buy, whether it's on a match day or a non-match day. You know, be able to, you know, I know that's small in terms of it. What they really need to do is attract big deals, big sponsors to our stadium and to our football club. I mean, let's get it right. That's the major thing. They have to be clever, and we know with the setting up of a company for Everton women that it seems like on the horizon we're going to get some kind of, you know, something similar to what Chelsea have done and what Villa are looking at doing.
55 million apparently Villa.
Yeah, so we have to be smart like that. Listen, there's no point sitting here tutting at other people. There's no point tutting. No point sitting here going, oh, look what they're doing. If it's legal, get on with it.
Yeah,
we've got a stadium there that we can sell to ourselves. Get on with it, and we have to start attracting. And I think Manchester City, when the owners came in, they didn't sit there expecting it all to happen. They moved heaven and earth to make it happen. The City campus is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous in its size and what they've done there. The women's stadium, the training facilities. Now they've got the Co-op Arena. They built the stand that's going to have a hotel in it. What they've done is unbelievable. Now, we don't have that. These don't have that kind of money, obviously, to just throw at Everton Football Club. But let's do that in our own way. As I said, let's make it an area where people feel like when they're buying into Everton, they're not just buying into the football club, they're buying into an area as well.
Yeah.
And maybe that means, who's to say, maybe that means that if there's land down there or there's opportunities to bring those different companies into you know, I know we're on a lower thing, but Farhad Moshiri did buy the Liver buildings and then brought like the club in there, but then Sports Paysia went in there. So again, that didn't turn out the way we wanted it to turn out.
But the premise of it
is there, isn't it? That's a really big area, I think, that we can exploit, and we've got to make sure we don't let anyone else exploit that area. Like, we've got to be on top of that. And if there's any spare land, we should be buying it. By rights, that area across from the ground should be owned by Everton. You know, that shouldn't have been allowed to get out of our hands. That should be Everton's area. All of that area should be owned by Everton. They really should have.
It was a different time, though.
No, I know, I'm saying, but so let's.
If the Freakin would have been in a couple of years.
So we've got to, you're right, we've got to be self-sufficient. We've got to puff out our chests, try and get these big deals in. And listen, it can take time, it can take steps. But what I don't want to hear is, and this is we've been guilty of the past of, is Everton saying things like, this is the biggest X deal in our history. Yeah, it's the first time we've had
that's just PR.
No, I know, but that's the problem, though.
I think Everton will be bringing on more big brands in the next few weeks, I think, or big partnerships.
Yeah, but let's use those partnerships though as well. Yeah, let's use those partnerships. Let's say to those partnerships, we'll allow you to have this thing sponsored or that thing sponsored, or when we do a press conference.
Well, John Blaine's and the Just Mess is saying what he thinks what the Freakin Group have done is all the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that was sort of easy to do. Well, that's fine, because Farhad Moshiri didn't even do the low-hanging fruit. So they're already a couple up on Farhad, aren't they, and the like. So, but you're right, the next bit is the complex. I think John would say this as well. The next stuff is the complex stuff now, and if they can get Nelson Dock sorted and start to really get the presence known around there, and like you should turn that into sort of Everton Village, or
don't forget as well, then in 3 years' time. 3 years' time, we've got the Euros. In 3 years' time, the Euros is coming here, and it's important that it's going to be one of the only times that we, as a football club, and our stadium are the number one thing in the city, and that's really important as well. That and I know it's 3 years is not very long, but we get to showcase our stadium to Europe and the world, and that means that. Not just the stadium, but the area. And Liverpool as a city again is under the microscope, like it often is, and it will reflect badly, I believe, on our football club if the transport facilities are poor for that, and the area doesn't have the facilities. It will reflect poorly, I think, on our football club. I know it doesn't necessarily isn't the football club's they shouldn't be accountable as such, but I do think it will reflect poorly because it'll be our name that will be continued, because don't forget as well, it will be the Everton Stadium for the Euros as well. It won't be Hill Dickinson, so it'll be referenced Everton Stadium again and again and again and again. And if you've got big teams playing there with big fan bases who aren't used to the city, and they're basically told, get on that train, it takes you to Sandhills, and then, yeah, okay, you get to Sandhills, you've got to walk down there, walk down there, walk down there. Now, I'm not expecting, by the way, a train station to be built in 3 years, but I do think that everything has to be put in place for that.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally
Nice
nice.
one.
Totally nice.
Cheers,
Nice
mate.
one,
Nice
mate.
one for calling.
All right,
Great
thank you
call.
very much.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Yeah,
Good
ta-ra,
night.
thanks, ta-ra,
Thank
mate.
you. Thanks, bye.
Ta-ra, mate. Any on waiting, Jay? No. Listen, if you're a Premier member or if you're a YouTube member and you want to call in, the link is there for you. Do it. It takes a sec. Get your point. We want to hear you.
The Everton in tournaments, you can't have a sponsored name.
Yeah.
So it will be called the Everton Stadium in the Euros.
Yeah.
That's what it will be called. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Whoever else, if anyone else has got sponsors, you have to have your original name. The Etihad would be called Eastlands.
Eastlands, yeah.
It's proper back to your Pez names for it.
Gotta be. Construction Van for Life, or Construction Van Life rather, has gifted 5.
What a beautiful human
Toffee
being.
TV Everton fan gift membership. So thank you.
All their members.
Hope
could
everyone who's
potentially
been
ring up as
gifted them says thank you to you.
I've just got a media release from Everton.
Saying what?
I don't know, because I haven't opened it, and this is the exciting part. Can't tell you till 6 o'clock.
Embargoed.
Embargo till 6 o'clock.
I thought it would be.
But it's not
big.
It's not massively exciting.
Never guess it.
You'll never guess it.
No.
You've read it. You'd never guess this,
No.
would you?
No.
This is out there, isn't it?
Because they're never big.
But I like it.
But that's good.
But I like it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So listen, it's... Yeah.
Have you read it?
I was told about it yesterday, but yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's not exciting in terms of like.
No.
It's exciting for some people, but
It is exciting.
But not for like the wider fan base.
Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I think they've made a good start, but we'll see. We will see. What did I see? See one before talking about Tierno Barry. Someone said he looks like a worse better. I don't think that's right,
Feels harsh.
to be fair.
Can we not just sign players and hope the judgment of the football club is right, and then see how they get on?
He's got really good movements. He's good in the air. 22. He scored goals. Works hard off the ball. Can he improve his touch a bit? Yeah, but he can dribble. He can go 1v1 with.
Can he?
Can he? He can go 1v1 with defenders. So that's much better than what we've showed the raw materials of Beto. And I do back Beto and have backed him. Anyone who watches this knows that. Let's have a couple of them. We need another one after him. So it's really good. Walter, mate, I've seen someone talking about Walter, mate. He's going to Brien if he goes. He's a good footballer. They want 60 million for him. Everton aren't paying 60 million for him. Hoyle says, I remember seeing the Hill Dickinson Stadium for the first time coming down the road. It looks like a spaceship. Looks beautiful. Andy Smith says, Ped and Baz, have you figured out what you're doing or where you're going to be in Atlanta besides the Mercedes-Benz?
Baz definitely hasn't figured it out.
My head has exploded.
Baz told me before a review of one of the hotels, and it was one of the greatest, baddest reviews ever in the history of the world.
Didn't make us want to stay there, did it?
No, but I just enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the story. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Big news though.
Terrifying.
Eddie's waiting.
Eddie is waiting.
Eddie is waiting. Big Eddie. So Andy, hang on, before we go to Eddie, we'll let you know. We're going to be at the event on the Saturday night, I think. The Everton event at the Limerick bar, is it? Limerick?
Yeah.
Something bar. So if you go into that, we'll see you there. That's all I know at the moment. We're going to be at that Limerick bar, and we're going to obviously be at the Mercedes-Benz on the Sunday.
Woohoo.
And we'll be doing some sightseeing in between. So there you go.
I don't even know what's in Atlanta.
No. I'll be seeing something. Going to Piedmont Park because that pops up everywhere. I don't know what
There's a Coca-Cola thing as well.
I know, the Coca-Cola thing. There's an aquarium, but I've been to SeaWorld. And I've been to the Sea
Maybe
Life
you can go
Centre.
somewhere where they don't torture the animals then.
I'm not sure.
There's a zoo there, isn't there?
Don't know. There's actually a Six Flags. But
There is a Six Flags, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the Six Flags in Houston. It was completely different.
Yeah,
it was completely different.
Yeah,
It's basically
it's not Disney.
It's not
No,
Disney. It's so much different.
Yeah. I've
Going
seen
to like a
videos.
local theme park.
I've seen videos of some Six
National
Flags.
Lampoons, mate. That's what it is.
Some Six Flags are quite wild. Seen all
for
sorts. Anyway, we've got Eddie. Eddie, good evening or good morning or whatever. Hang on, what are we? Must be
Good
good morning for
afternoon.
you, Ed. Good afternoon.
It's noon here. It's like
Okay.
or almost wait, is it noon?
But it's not noon, is it? Because it's not. We have time zones by hours,
It's
not by
almost
minutes.
noon. It's 20
So
minutes.
it's
till
morning
noon.
then.
So it's more. It's 19 minutes.
No
to
wonder
noon-
you
to
don't
noon.
know whether you're coming and going.
Well, okay, so I work off Eastern time because of my job's like their headquarters is in like DC, so
Okay.
I go off Eastern time. But no, it is afternoon. It's 12:40.
What's
no,
going
no, you're
on?
right. You're
Eddie,
right.
Eddie,
You're right.
Eddie, stop. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Texas. It's
Right, what time is it in Texas?
I was wrong. It's 11:40. It's 11.
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at my
11:41.
Thank you, Eddie.
But the
So
headquarters
it's
of where he
still
works is in
yeah.
Washington,
It's
so it's
because
12:41.
my-
And the person
my-
I'm ringing
yeah,
right
it's-
now is
I'm
in the
looking-
UK, so it's
yeah.
5:42.
I was looking at my
It's
laptop
your
and I saw
job,
12:42, so that's why I got confused.
Right, Ed, what do you want to say, mate? Let's leave time zones alone. What do you want to say, my friend?
Well, regarding the thing about me not coming, the reason is because I might have a new job, so I don't know if I'll be able to take vacation for the for the game.
Do you just tell them, man?
Hang
It's
on.
already booked.
Hang on, Eddie. You need to speak to James about this because when James come here, he just told everybody the dates he was having off, and he just took them off. And basically, apparently, that's all you need to do.
You're starting a new job, Ed. If you've got vacation booked, they can't really do anything.
It's
This
America.
doesn't count. This isn't a real job.
Yeah.
We don't have proper oldies.
John Blaine's watching.
Yeah.
And you do have holidays, so
Do I?
yes, you
I
do.
asked him and he said, just... do you
He's
think-
watching, so be very careful what you said.
Hang on, let's get back to Eddie.
Eddie,
John,
so
go on.
go on, Ed. Go on, Ed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's corporate America is a little different.
It is, yeah.
It's a bit more difficult to take days off when you're switching companies. But there are things to do in Atlanta. First of all, like the Coca-Cola factory is pretty cool. They have like at the end of it, there's like
Coca-Cola.
all the Cokes from the like around the world. Chick-fil-A's headquarters there. They don't do a tour though. Have you had Chick-fil-A?
It's gonna break in.
I mean, it's right near the Coca-Cola factory.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
just on
so
the
it's
side.
like it's nearby, but like they don't do tours. But if you haven't
what
had
are we gonna
Chick-fil-A, you
do?
should try. I don't know.
look
There's things to do in Atlanta.
Okay.
But you just
that
give
I
us
remember.
one.
Well, the aquarium is like one of like the nicer aquariums in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's like really big.
Oh, okay.
But and they have a bunch of other museums and stuff. But I don't really
Nice.
like museums. But
You're not selling this to us.
I was trying to. I didn't think this through. But
You're telling me.
yeah, in regards to like Everton news.
Okay,
yeah.
that's better.
Okay. I mean, I feel like the lack of. Oh, I like the fact that we were able to get Jared on a longer contract. I think that's good for like the club's
Yeah.
progression in terms of us putting like a stance of like we're not going to sell him and like he's our future and we're going to try building with him.
Yeah.
It is still kind of odd about the Idrissa situation with like it's expected to happen and I just don't like going on Twitter and or like X and just seeing like Everton is confident this is going to happen and then it just if they're confident why hasn't it happened? The same thing with like the Barry stories. They're like, oh, it's super confidence like near the finish. But then like Romano posted about it, and then like I guess it looks like anytime he says anything about Everton, it doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
maybe him not knowing anything about us is probably better.
No, it probably is better, mate.
Yeah.
It's probably better that nobody knows.
That's what I'm kind of hoping is like we don't know anything, and then maybe like by the end of the week we'll have like maybe re-sign both Michael Keane and Ghana and Barry. that's very optimistic because there's only 2 days left before the end of the week. So I'm kind of hoping that I at least want to have like 5 or 6 players by like the U.S. trip, because right now like our squad, like we have like 14 people or 12 people.
14, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like I feel as a U.S. fan, it's not going to be as enjoyable if like it's the same players.
Yeah.
See that like I've seen all season, and like there's like no excitement to like be able to like, oh, like I'm excited to see Barry play, or Walter May's off to Bayern, so that's done. But like if we could get a couple players in, that would be, I think it's a better experience, at least for like the US based fans.
I think we will, Ed. I think we will. It's 3 weeks, isn't it, on Saturday, the first game against Bournemouth. So that's a long time, really. Everton go out on, I think it might be 3 weeks today, or 3 weeks yesterday. They travelled to the States, so they've got 3 weeks to get a few, and I think they'll get a few in, mate.
Because they start training next week, right?
Yeah, they're back in on Friday, but for all the testing and everything. But yeah, pre-season well underway next week, so David Moyes will want players in. It's not, even if we sign Tierno Barry in the next few days, he ain't going to be a trainer next week because he's on a break. Well, exactly, he's on a break, isn't he? He just played the tournament, so they'll get at least a couple of weeks downtime after the tournament, so he's going to at least be off for a fortnight. But that means he should be available for the America trip, really, which is good. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and then I guess the last thing I have to say is, like, I want more rumors around attacking players. I feel like there's been a lack of that. Like, once again, like, I know, like, they might be trying to keep everything under, so, like, we can't lose out on someone by getting the name out that we're trying to sign them. But like, it's been pretty quiet, at least for me. I haven't seen much along these like wingers outside of like Barry. Like I haven't really seen any other attacking players, and I feel that's kind of worrisome. Of like, I know like it's still early, but I don't know. It's July now, so it's. I was expecting a bit more. It was very optimistic of me, but I expected Tuesday to be like, Michael Keane's done, Ghana's done, like like all the people that we were waiting for, they were done, and then it's just like maybe like a random free agent just popped up out of nowhere, but at least get a couple, like a backup goalkeeper or something this week. Like there has to be something, in my opinion, because like Jared News is great, but I want to see new faces or like create some new excitement, at least for me personally.
Yeah,
I think. I'll be honest, Ed, I think Everton are doing a good job to keep it as quiet as possible. I think things are going on, and the longer they can keep it out the news, the better, I think, personally. I think
is that like a David Moyes thing? Or
yeah,
because, like, that was before my... I don't know if like that's the way he just like functions, and like back
no, it is.
when he was manager, like it was just quiet.
Yeah, he likes to be so far down the road with signings that mostly they come to fruition. Not all, because you can never say all, but mostly you get so far down the track with them that they're practically done when they get out. The best way to do your business, and it is a thing he did last time, and it's possible to do it. We see other clubs doing it. So Liverpool are one that does that quite well. City have done that really well. Chelsea tell everyone everything, so not Chelsea, but a lot of the good clubs do that. They get so far down the track before it gets out, and then they're done within a few days, and then it's like, oh my God, look how quick they worked to get that sorted. But the reality is that's been going on for weeks and weeks. Yeah. But they just kept the circle closed, and hopefully that's what Everton are trying to do with it. And I believe that is what they're sort of aiming for. So I think that'd be really positive. And that'll only be backed up then if Everton do, of course, get a few of these players and people go, oh my God, where did that come from? That's the sort of thing you want. We saw it with Alcaraz, didn't we? but it was sort of a bit of a left field one, wasn't it? And it was done.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see a little bit of that as well. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then
Absolutely.
real quick, we need to
Go on,
not
go on.
let West Ham sign the left back. Like he's rumored, the Senegalese guy. We need Ghana or Ndai to convince him not to go there, to come here instead. We have to build
Well, that's not really up to us, is it? That's all.
I don't know. I
Whether
think
David Moyes wants him.
Well, I think I think Ndai is only here because of Ghana, or at least was very influential in that decision making.
You mean Diouf? Is he being linked? Malik Diouf, is it? Is he being linked
Yeah.
with West Ham?
Yeah, pretty
Well,
heavily.
How much though?
20 million.
20 mil. It's whether the manager thinks 20 million's worth for the left back, or whether he thinks we can get by with Mykhalenko and maybe bringing someone in.
Taliafico, I saw he was linked this morning. So
The which, sorry?
Taliafico, the left back for Lyon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really had. I just need signings, I guess, is my big thing. I'm getting bored.
Fair enough, Ed. I mean, you don't even know where you're coming or going, so I can understand
That's true. Okay, I'll boycott getting my ticket to the game until we make a signing.
Feels controversial.
It does feel a bit-
I feel like you support the club, not the players that sign for it. But, listen, Americans are different. You follow players round from club to club, so I don't know.
That's fair.
Whatever. Listen, you've got to live with that consciousness. So
Conscience, I think, is the way.
no, it's consciousness.
He's got to live with his consciousness. Fair play. Fair play. I think we all have to do.
Yeah.
But
Nice one, Ed.
Nice one, Eddie.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
See you later, mate.
See you later. To that, I believe we have got.
Brien.
Brian.
Sweating me bollocks off. That's what I know. I believe the
Language.
heat's just
We've
Got
ridiculous.
Brien waiting.
I don't think sweating your bollocks off is cursing. There you go.
Exactly.
Baz wants to break the desk.
Get it, so with it, yeah.
It's hitting me right in the feels. We got Brien.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Should
Is
be
it Brien Garside?
No, it was with a Y.
Controversial.
He's not talking though.
He's not
Okay.
talking.
Hello, Brian.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Hey, how you guys doing?
That's
Whoa.
okay. Good evening.
Go
Good
on,
to
Brian.
speak to you, mate. What do you want to say?
Good evening. So I thought this one through a little bit before I called in.
I'll tell you what, mate. You're one of the
ahead of
first.
a lot of the people.
One of the first people who's ever done that.
Yeah, I'm not really off the cuff, you know.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Go on
so,
then, mate.
So the transfer window, I guess round 2 just kind of opened recently, right? Consensus kind of among, I don't know, at least the Toffee TV and myself is there's 6 positions we really need signings in. Striker, right wing, right midfield, center mid, right back, left back, and then a goalkeeper, right? Because we're short there now.
Yeah.
Of those 6 positions, if you had 2 transfers, or I guess 2 new signings, 2 free agents, and 2 loan slots for each of those six positions, where would you use them, and who would you sign?
I think you'd want to buy a right winger, wouldn't you? Because you'd want someone to sort of, you'd think is going to permanently fill that spot in our team, which is no one's really had it tied down for a few years. So you'd want that. You'd want to buy someone for that one, and I think you'd want to buy the centre forward, which they're trying to do. Freeze your goalkeeper, really, because Jordan Pickford's the goalie, isn't he? So a free as a backup keeper isn't too bad. So that's one of your frees. If you're not going to buy someone like Malik Diouf, who we've just been speaking about, and invest in that left back, then you're looking for more of a backup left back with a different profile than Tagliafico, probably, from who's just left Lyon, 32, won a World Cup. Good going forward. He'd be a decent signing. So that's another free. And that leaves you with a wing, another right side or a right back for a loan, and a midfield player for a loan. But I actually think we need. You've said 6 there, Brian, but I actually think they need 8 or 9.
Oh,
this summer,
sure.
I think they need.
Well, we need another goalkeeper.
We need at least.
We need 2 goalkeepers.
We need 2 goalies, unless Harry Tyler's going to become the third.
We need 2 goalkeepers.
We need a left back. Let's just say 1 keeper for now. 1 goalie, a left back. We need at least 1 centre midfield. I'd be going for 2, but we need at least 1. We need 2 wingers, 2 strikers. And it feels like the manager wants a right back as well. So there's 8 just to start.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Tierno, Barry feels like, so that's 1. So that leaves you with 7. So that's still a lot of work to do. So that's why I'm saying that Tagliafico, if he's free, knocks it down to 6. A goalkeeper, whether that's Angus Gunn, Fabio, whoever, Fraser Foot, whoever it is, that goes down to 5. The right back situation, we'll see. But 2 right midfield, 2 right wingers for me are an absolute essential. I want another centre forward coming in alongside Barry and Beto. So I think there's a lot of work to be done there, Brian, to be honest, and it's who you can go and get, isn't it? Yeah. Really. I think the loans will be left by Moyes, and one of them, I know Grealish has been linked again as a potential loan. That probably happened later on in the window if he's going to go on loan.
See, I think if you're going to bring Grealish in, I think you bring him in early, though.
No, you'd like to, but if City
are not going to stand in his way. City, you don't. No, but I imagine City's terms won't change. I don't think that a club like that who need to worry. They just will bomb him out. But I don't think. I just can't imagine their terms are going to change from now till the 30th. Or whatever. 1st day of September. But I don't know. But I think loans will always be. I think if we got a left back and he was a loan, that'd be fine. If we got a 3rd centre forward and he was a loan and that allows Schmitty to go on loan, then I think that's fine. Maybe the right winger is a loan.
Think you want to buy one?
No, we need to buy one.
The
second one, we need definitely need to bring in. And boost that. Try and get at least 20. Try and have like 20 man squad at least, and then some kids on the outside. I'd say. I think that's the way to look at it, isn't it?
It is tricky trying to do it like that though, because you've got to find out who's sort of available as well. Are Chelsea gonna let Dewsbury Hall go on loan? He'd be a good option for Everton. Or Madueke was linked with a loan, then linked with a sale. Would he be someone they'd let loan? Because you'd go and get him if you could. It's got to find out who's available, I think, first, Brian. Yeah. What about you? In terms of buying, what are your sort of main 2 positions that you think the football club needs to buy in?
Yeah, I was right there with you, Baz. I was thinking striker and right winger for sure. Looks like Barry's pretty close. And then right wing, we really need someone established. We've been shoehorning people in that position for years that don't belong there. So something like a Doak or Oscar Bob, maybe.
I like Bakayoko.
Bakayoko.
It's whether they'd. I feel like they'd sell him. He's only got a year left. 20 million's been. I think 20 million's sort of a steal for him, because I think if you get him even half right to what he was 2 years ago, it's 30 and 40 million immediately. So you've doubled it. He's good age, beats players. I think he'd be a good option.
Whether we could, possibility.
Well, Premier League, innit? Sunderland have just got Habib Diarra when people said there was no chance, Atletico were going to get him and all that, and he's gone to Sunderland. So I think getting players into the Premier League with the money, I think a lot of them will take the money, and they like the sort of the profile it gives them playing in the Premier League as well. And Everton, a club on the up, new big stadium, new owners, you can sell that project to them. So I think we'd have a good chance of getting him, and he's dynamic as well. We don't have many of those players in our team at all. So I think he'd be a good option. I really like Oscar Bob, but I don't know what City will do with him. But I think that'd get a lot of people excited if Everton got a Johan Bakayoko, someone like that, and got Barry at the top end. I think people would start looking at it.
I honestly think Evertonians would just be absolutely delighted if one of these like names, one of the names that goes round the internet
actually come off.
Like one of these like one of these football manager names. So many people would be excited. It's like they've looked in the same places we've looked. Football manager, mate. So it'd be nice to pull one off, and then the people in the media at Everton understanding that they'd done that as well, and a bit like you've seen Fulham ripping Fab Romano in their Tete video.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm all day for that, by the way.
Absolutely.
I'm all day for that. So I'd like Everton to do the same if we bought one of these players and then just got every tweet from every hipster out there, you know who you are, about these players. Be brilliant.
It'd be nice to have a right winger playing right wing,
Oh, I mean, you've just Columbo, you've just cracked the case.
Yeah.
You've invented gold there, because it'd just be. Yeah, it would. It'd be great to just go, he plays in his position. We've got a lad who plays on the right. And then, to be honest, if we got, let's just say Bakayoko for argument's sake, and then Everton went and got a Tom Fellows as a backup, who's another good lad who plays out there, really good crosser of the ball and all that, then you'd go, you know what, you've done a cracking job there, in all fairness, to get two lads who play in that position, both got different profiles. I think, be a big pat on the back for the manager, the recruitment team and all of that. Because this has been, let's be honest, Brian, I don't know how long you've watched Toffee TV for, but we have been banging on for years about the right wing. Everton just have not had one.
No.
And I know James came in and played off the right, but he was more of a 10, really. Me and Andy, the Piv, were doing Malcolm videos back in the day, in about 2018 when he was at Barca, going, maybe Everton could get him and these kind of players, even Bertrand Traore, who eventually turned up at Villa. We were looking at going, he might be one. We looked at quite a few, and Moussa Diaby. There's been every year Leon Bailey, although plays off the left but plays on the right. There's been so many options on that right-hand side that Everton have just missed. That for us to go and get actual players who play on the right with a bit of pace would, I think, it changed the way Everton played.
It is absolutely mind-blowing, isn't it, that we are
crazy
in this summer looking at a right midfielder. And to be honest, it's like the right-back situation before we brought in Patterson. It was the same thing, and I know Patterson hasn't worked out, but it was the same thing every summer for like 4 years, going over talking about getting a right back in. Yeah. And we've got to, sometimes it's so obvious that, and you do, it's what makes football fans, because there's so much information out there now. Like, I'm very honest, watching football players from other football clubs is not my thing. It's just not my thing. I wait till they come in and then I watch them. I'm not one of those people. I used to be, I'm just not anymore. But there's so much information out there, and every day names get, names, and Brian, you just mentioned a few there, but names every day pour in, and like this player doing that, and he's at this, whatever, Strasbourg, wherever they are, and they pour in, and it's like Everton just haven't been able to take any of that information, and other clubs have, and they're moving them on and they're selling them. I mean, even just today with João Pedro going to Chelsea, it's like Everton could have had him. It was a tap-in. And Brighton didn't even have to work hard for that signing. So easy, it was just there, and Everton couldn't do it, and they've sold him on for that kind of money. And the last time I truly believe we sort of did that, and it's, again, this is not even a hard one, was Richarlison.
Yeah.
The last time there was an absolute tap-in, just sitting there waiting to happen, and Everton pulled, when we're having that. And they went and got him, and they obviously made money on him, and they're clearly out there, and it's so frustrating when you look at the football club and they're there to be, and everyone can see them, and they don't take the chance, and and then when you go back for the same one 3 years in a row, and Leeds are just not playing dice, and it's like they are out there, and it's about time as a football club we went, we need a right midfielder, so we're going to buy a right midfielder. or we need a right back, so we're going to buy a right back. And that's been such a frustrating part of Everton in the last 3 or 4 years. And I know financially that's been a major problem, but
there has been moments, because I think RC said as well, did Everton have the facility? Well, they did at times, not necessarily sort of like a year ago or 2 years ago, but there was definitely times when Everton had a pot of money, and again with the outlay, because you can amortise it and stuff, they had well enough in the tank to be able to facilitate some of these. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
But we did spend money in other areas, and we wasted money. Like, why did we buy Mopai? Like, without being disrespectful.
But when you're seeing
Mopai,
Degrassi scoring 2 goals last night again.
Gerassi.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
When you're seeing him
the
score.
lad literally wouldn't train for 4 days because he wanted to come here. And then we pulled away from the deal and went for Mopai, and it's like we were going to play up to a big, strong centre forward. Why are we going after a lad my size? And then get him in. And it's okay if the kid can run, but Mopai can't run either.
Yeah.
There's that famous thing of Norgard, wasn't it, pissing himself when
The goalie caught him.
like he was thinking, why is their goalie faster than our centre forward? You know, it's that kind of thing. It's like, why did Everton think Neil Mopai was the right answer at that time? There's been quite a few of them. So getting a right winger who plays on the right would be mind-blowing.
Sensational.
And if he could run, would be absolutely mind-blowing. Imagine Njai breaking, Alcaraz breaking, you've got Tierno, Barry or Beto breaking, and you've got a fast right winger. Everton had looked like this totally different team. You know, to us as fans, we'd be like, what's this sport we're playing? Because it ain't what we've been watching for years. So it would be really interesting, Brian, wouldn't it, to have that position locked down?
Yeah, it would be nice.
Fair enough.
Nice one, Brien.
All right, nice one, Brian. Great call, mate.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
mate.
Okay, take
Thanks,
care.
mate.
See you later.
Great telephone voice.
Anyway, yeah, it's got a great voice. Him and
on,
Annabelle in a telephone.
Hang on. There's people out there who are desperate for the 6 o'clock news. They're desperate for it.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying there's literally so
Go on,
the
then.
news was, and I did say it wasn't exciting, and I didn't say it was for everybody. So basically, there's going to be, for people who are going to Chicago, a fan cruise.
On Lake Michigan.
So basically, you can join Everton fans, and they've even sent me a picture of the boat. And if it's not that boat, I want my money back.
It's like you'd pay 98.
Yeah, there's a cruise, Chicago fan cruise, basically on Tuesday the 29th of July. So anyone who's going to Chicago, if you're there the night before, 7 o'clock, fan cruise on the luxurious spirit of Chicago. So there you go. That was the news. I told you it wasn't exciting and it was only for a certain set of people, but you wouldn't listen.
Whoever's waiting, can you please put your name in the chat?
Yeah, you've got to have your name in the chat on the thing, otherwise you can't come
And it's
on.
definitely not a free cruise.
No, it's $100 a ticket, so it's not cheap.
Oh, yeah. That's sorted.
No, not for that. Yeah, as if they
Got
give you the
Owen
100.
waiting.
Have a wait.
As if.
And it's not a Thingo cruise either.
Oh, what?
Just saying it's not a Thingo cruise. Townhouse one.
Oh,
Owen's waiting.
All right, well, Owen can talk at any time he wants.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Owen. Go on, mate.
Good evening,
Sorry
mate.
about
What
that,
do you want to
guys.
say?
First time calling in, so
Oh, well,
sorry
let me
for
ask
the
you a question.
technical- Yeah, go ahead.
Because I can hear you. What
Yeah.
time is it?
10 a.m. I'm in San Francisco.
You're on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm in San Francisco.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Is it freezing and raining?
No, it's nice. It's nice.
Okay.
It was earlier this week. It gets pretty cloudy
Microclimate?
here. I feel like everyone thinks it's like San Diego, where it's super
No, it's
sunny,
not.
but it's not.
No, it's a microclimate, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so
I
it's
know my
pretty
San
cool.
Francisco facts.
Oh yeah.
Go on, mate.
I'm curious. I know everyone's calling and talking about players, but have you guys heard anything about? I know, what is it? Colin Chong is in charge of the investment of the area around the stadium. Have you guys heard anything else about what that looks like? Is it going to be just building up shops or building up the area? Like, what does that mean in terms of investment around the stadium?
I think what it means. So, funny enough, Colin Chong said something today about he worried about Everton actually getting the stadium in 2021 when he thought the government were going to call it in. But he's in a. Listen, I don't know. I honestly don't know how much gravitas this title has. I think it's obviously it's his job to maybe find locations in the area and maybe bring them back to the club and decide whether an area that is available is worthy of Everton investing in it. And beyond that, I really don't know too much about it. It's a weird area where we've moved to, because there's a large piece of land that everyone will have seen, which is the dock area between our stadium and the next set of like flat apartments. But that's getting built on for the most part, apart from the location right next to our stadium, which Everton have already basically said they would like to buy. They haven't said why they want to buy it or what they do with it, but they have said they want to buy that land. Then there's a lot of old warehouse type structures, which there's a very nice hotel down there, the Titanic. I mean, it's not got the greatest name in the world, the Titanic Hotel, in terms of history, but it's the Titanic Hotel. And it's a really lovely hotel that's been built, by converting an old warehouse and adding new things to it. Next to that, there's a lovely apartments that are, again, an old warehouse. There's a lot of old warehouse structures down there. And then there's some others that aren't in great shapes that could probably be knocked down. So it's a weird area because there's not loads and loads of room to build up anything quite big. So it's a strange title. It really is. I think whether it might be a case of deciding are there small things that they could buy down in the area which Everton could buy and then maybe keep as a part of a portfolio, and then maybe control. Maybe it might be a little bit out there, but maybe control who comes into the area in terms of if they don't want certain shops or things that would clash with Everton's own things, and then they might control buildings that stop people from coming in. But I very much doubt that. So I think it's more a grandiose title than anything else. I've only been to Liverpool.
I've only been out there once when I was. Gosh, this was probably like 6 years ago. But just, I mean, looking at the map, it seems like there could be an opportunity to kind of extend the energy from downtown up to the stadium if they start building bars or, just shops to go in and spend time up there. But I mean, I don't know, as you guys are there more often, if that's, not very realistic.
I'll tell you what so about, what was it now, 15 to 20 years ago, they built what is now the main shopping centre in Liverpool 1. And before that was built, you had the Albert Dock, and the Albert Dock felt very separate from the rest of the city. And now that they've built Liverpool 1, it feels really well connected. So whereas it used to feel like it was really, really far away, but now it feels massively connected to the rest of the city centre. So there is maybe an opportunity via, again, if they can put the right things in place to connect the city centre to our stadium in a much better fashion via bringing different things in, whether they be, like we've already mentioned, like transport hubs or the right kind of facilities like restaurants and bars. And you know what it's like if you walk 15 minutes anywhere and there's nothing between the 2 points that you walk from. It feels a very soulless, doesn't it? Long, boring walk. But if you walk somewhere for 15 minutes and there's lots of stuff to interact with, it feels completely different. I think that's something, I don't know if it's Everton's job, but I would like Everton to take more charge of that, because ultimately this is our stadium. We are going to be the biggest thing in that area. And that area, like I said earlier, should reflect massively on us as a football club, because if it's a bad area, it will reflect on our football club that we haven't done more. And that's the question people will ask. Why didn't you do more? Everton have very little to do with the transport, but people will point fingers at Everton and say, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you push? And it's not like America here where the sports clubs can influence local policy. And obviously we know that through American franchises where you can literally tell the council or the city to build a stadium for you. But I think it's up to Everton, and I don't know whether this is part of Colin Chong's job, but it's up to Everton to try and make the area we are now moving into as the best it possibly can be, and the safest. And I think that's one of the most important words, the safest, because there's a lot of that land. Like if you would have come 5 years ago, you would literally be walking around an area that would have been quite dark with very little facilities around, that you would not want to be sort of walking. You would not feel safe in that area, even though it wasn't an area where people would get robbed or anything, because no one would be down there. It was literally nothing there for anyone for any reason. But now that there is something there, people might feel like they will go to that area. But because my wife is Everton's hair game ambassador, and she's had to do stuff with the council about the lights and the and sort of making sure maps point people in the right way. Because when we first went to the game, she was like, "This area is really dark." After the game, people are walking back. It really felt dark. So she's been working with the council to make sure that it's a lot brighter and there's a lot more lights and there's a lot more traffic signs and people know where they're going. That doesn't solve the problem, but I would like Everton to just get massively more involved.
Yeah. I bring it up because I think we have a unique opportunity. I mean, both as a city and a club to grow the area. The other one I had, do you guys know, are they going to be selling more bricks? Because I know that ended a while back, but do you think they're going to be selling more bricks?
Not where they've done the bricks now, because that area is complete, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next summer they decide to carve out another area within the ground and do some more. I would imagine
it makes sense too.
No, it makes sense.
Makes money for the club, but it gives people the opportunity.
There are those pictures, those mosaics, but I don't really think they work because it's a tiny, tiny, tiny picture of a mosaic. But I imagine at some point Everton might decide, well, we could cut a big piece of the fan plaza up and put bricks in there. Why not?
Yeah, I think the club's got to capitalize on that over the next 2 years or something. I
think people will do it as well. People will definitely be buying them. So.
Well, also you would be more in 12 months' time when it might feel more like home. If you've missed out on it, people are going to suddenly go, "Oh, I want something to commemorate." Yeah. So hopefully,
I felt that way with the Goodison seats, and I paid way too much in shipping and taxes for one of those, but
which is crazy because I felt the exact opposite, and so did Baz. I couldn't care less about me seat.
Oh, really?
I couldn't care less.
I thought that was a cool piece of memorabilia.
Good. Though. Well, that's fair enough, but honestly, I personally just was like, no, that's done. So I've basically drawn a line under Goodison now. It's over. They've conned me out of enough money, so.
Love it.
Fair play.
I love it. Well, I won't talk about. I mean, everyone always wants to talk about players. I mean, I've got a short list, but I feel like everyone's already covered them.
Go on, just give us your short list.
I would love a Tim Weah because I think he can go forward, but also track back and cover for right back. I think also I consider a Tom Fellows, James McAtee to be interchangeable, so a player that can cut in off the left, maybe not great pace, but great technical ability would be important. I think if we get Brien, another one up top, but after Barry, I don't think that's number one priority. And then a number 8 and a left back, but honestly, those, to your point, I don't watch a ton of football, across the different leagues, so I just know we need that position.
Yeah,
I think the left back. That's why a Tagliafico wouldn't make sense, because unless you're going to go and buy, say, Malik Diouf, the Senegalese left midfielder who's quick and puts a great ball, and if you're going to do that, then he's a genuine competitor, possibly someone who'll take Mikalenko's place off him. Then that's fine. are we going to commit 20 million to that?
Yeah.
But if you're just sort of saying Michalenko's sound for now, we know he's really good 1v1, but he's only got a year left. We have to think of that as well. But if we're just sort of saying we're looking for not a backup as such, but someone who will cost us very little and can go and do that job, then that's why a Tagliafico sort of makes sense as a free agent. Really experienced, won a World Cup, played in Europe, and can come in and pad the squad out, can do a good job down that left. And that gives us a year to identify maybe a better one, someone who's going to come in. That'd make sense. But if they look at the left back and think, no, I want, if David Moyes looks and thinks I want someone who's going to raid up and down, which is what he tends to like for his fullbacks, then Malik Chief would be a really good option, I think.
Yeah, I think back to Bainesy, and I think Moyes will want that. It's just a matter of what window does he spend the money. And I know everyone's been banging on about it, but it's frustrating to see Chelsea, like, this seems like they buy in increments of 50 million or more, and so it's like almost resetting the market there.
Every time.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's all I had, but thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling.
I've been listening for about, I don't know, like 10 years now. I just want to say keep doing what y'all do, because it's tough over here in the States to stay connected with the club, and y'all are a big part of that. So appreciate what y'all do.
Thanks for the support. Are you getting to any of the games over there, or
I'll be in Chicago, so I'll try to find you guys in Chicago.
Okay. On the cruise.
Do it. Let us know. Let us know beforehand where you're going to be and stuff. But we're going to be at AJ Hudson's. We're definitely going to be there. So try to get to that event.
Yeah.
All right, I'll write that down.
Top
AJ
man.
Hudson's. All right, take care, guys.
See you later.
Right,
See you later.
Bye.
Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra. Great call again there. Didn't ask Brien where he was calling from in America, did we? He had a great voice.
Could have been anyway. He was so silky and smooth.
He was just chilled, wasn't he?
So night caller.
Brien was like remember night caller?
I do remember night caller. Do you remember?
What a programme. That's what he was like. Sound
like every lawyer in Law and Order. Just about to.
He was brilliant.
Read me my rights.
Right, just let's race through some of these. Tom Escher said, what's your thoughts on the 1878 statement, Ped?
We said it before, didn't we?
No, you just read it out. What's your thoughts? Is it good?
I thought it was good.
You read the whole statement?
Did we not say our opinions?
No.
Did we not?
No, you just read the statement.
Okay. Yeah, I think, it's good. I get it. I fully understand it. Maybe it is now time to start moving forward and leaving the past in the past. It'll always be, it's there. It's always part of our history, but maybe we need to leave some of that behind now and move forward and start looking at putting pressure on the football club to start winning things again. Okay.
Ian Spencer says, if we get Barry over the line, do you think it's important to get a right-footed right winger that can cross a ball rather than a left-footed cutting back, given that Barry is so good in the air?
Can we get a two-footed player?
I think so. I say this as I think McNeil's game time will be limited on the left. I'm aware we need a squad, etc., but we should have a right winger who can cross with his right foot. No, absolutely, we should have two. Kev Maloney says it's Tiermo time, a la Jingle All the Way. Thermo time.
Personally.
Glenn says ped only question. Feels a bit sort of isolating to me, but do you own a wash bag? True or false?
Do I own a wash bag? Yeah. I've got a Hackett wash bag. Brown leather one.
See that one coming, did you, Glenn? Glenn, asking you personalised questions. Sog says, bought a stone for my mate that he'll never see. He died on the 8th of June. Oh. And we buried him on Friday. Didn't know it'd be a memorial stone, but glad I bought it now. Sad, mate, yeah. Brian says, great talking to you guys. Thanks for having me. Forgot to ask, was there any plans to do a meet-up before the summer series games, aside from the Everton events, or any tailgating?
I don't know.
Don't know, Brian, to be honest. I think that's stay in touch, Bryce.
I think that's more in the hands of the Everton, the American Evertonians. They're sorting all these things out, basically.
Us trying to do it wouldn't.
Yeah.
For you.
If someone says, do you want to do a thing, and we just host it, which is effectively what I think we should be doing with the Everton ones, basically, my opinion.
Kev says Atlanta is famous for hip-hop and strip clubs. That'll be fine, but I'm going with me missus and me lad. is coming with us, but Ped and John are off to the strip club. So
Didn't say that. Didn't say that. I was going for the hip hop.
Dick L says, is there a connection between a Friedkin group and William Friedkin, who directed the...
No, there is nothing. There's nothing.
Okay.
We've done this before.
Okay. Kevin Blazata says, surely buying a data company, identifying a target with that data, getting said target is worth at least a bit of positive recognition. Give Barry time, but when's the last time we got our top target? Not Bilal Toure, not any of the right backs, etc. Rob the East Belfast Toffee says, I'd rather sign Connor Cody on a free rather than Michael Keane.
You'd be wrong.
Connor's off to Rangers, I think, anyway. And I don't think he's on a free, is he? Or are they he's trying to get it sorted, I know that. Where are we here?
Why are people saying that all the American callers sound like Kermit the Frog? That's not true. No one was like, hello everybody, calling here from San Francisco. Yeah.
Dave Murphy on the super chat says, it's too late. Chelsea have bought all the players.
All of the players.
It is mad, isn't it?
For eternity.
It is mad that they just... I don't know how you'd stop it, but it feels like it's something that should be stopped.
It should be stopped.
You know?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
These comments are just
Head going for a cheeky shift at the club? No, I just think that it would make more sense if at a fan event, if we were the hosts. I just think that makes more sense. I'm not like blowing my own trumpet there. I just think it make more sense. That's what other football clubs do. They like have people hosting events who don't necessarily work for the club, and therefore makes it feel more of a little bit more relaxed. And therefore, it's not the same questions the people who are the guests get asked every single time. That's just my opinion. It probably is wrong.
Danny Brien says Tom Fellows is my number one pick for the right-hand side. English, cheap, and can put a brilliant cross in. He
can't trust the person who's got two first names. Sorry.
Tom Fellows?
No, the person who asked the question.
Oh, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, can't trust that. Can't trust the person.
Okay.
James agrees.
I think he's quite right.
Brien, does that count? My surname?
No, I didn't say you. I said you agree.
No, I know, but would you count that as a...
No. Okay. It's got an O in the way of it. See, what was clever, someone in your family went, we can't be trusted. Let's put an O in front of it. I doff my cap to that person.
Anita says they released 1,500 tiles recently. They did, Anita, but they all went within a couple of hours. Remember, they'd done some additionals, didn't they?
Yeah, so but that was a while ago, that though.
But it's a good way. It's a good way.
FFP, release some bricks.
Mm-hmm.
How much are your bricks? £8,000 each. Who bought them? Fella called Dan and Colin. Okay.
I just think it's a good way for people to have it there, and also the money that you can make from it.
I believe that also. Just while we're on the American thing, and we've got some Americans watching, and again, I'm not trying to be controversial, but do you not think that really we should have like the likes of Tim Howard, Landon Donovan, Joe Max Moore, Paul Rideout at maybe some of these events?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's Brian McBride, not Brian McBride.
I know, we only played like a month.
I know, but I do like
No, but Tim Howard.
But yeah, Tim Howard
should be at these events. Definitely. And I don't care how much he costs.
And Landon Donovan only played 2 little loans.
They've got a podcast. Landon Donovan's got a book coming out. You just like get into them and go, lads, just want to do an event for us because you could do your podcast live at this pub full of Evertonians. Like, come on. Doesn't that just make more sense? A room full of Everton, American Evertonians, and you have Tim Howard or Landon Donovan or Paul Rideout there.
Tim Howard and Paul Rideout are the right one. Landon Donovan, yeah, but the other two, I mean, Tim Howard was our goalie forever, and Paul Rideout scored the last person from 30 years ago.
Lives in Arizona, been in America for years. Kids grew up there.
Evertonian, absolutely brilliant.
Come on, Everton. Come on.
JT says I feel like Tim would be more eager than Landon, but Tim probably would, but Everton should be.
If Landon doesn't... Tim Howard, surely you just go, what are you doing? I'm sure he's in the city. He's working for NBC that week, by the way. I'm sure
it's a big thing.
He'll be at the games. They're live on NBC.
Aidan eats on the cruise.
Yeah, and he's at the pub.
Which is good.
But that to me, it's just it's a tapping. It's an absolute tapping. And also, aren't these people like Everton ambassadors in America anyway? Like, what are we?
It's London and
nobody should be, no matter what. And this is where, like, I'd like to see.
Tim is though, isn't he?
He was, but like the same way that Pinar was.
Oh, okay.
So I would like. So if I was the Freakins, this is what I'd be doing. I'd be saying to the football club, we don't have a big enough presence in America, right? We don't have any American players, but who were the players who made us big in America? Well, the answer to that is Tim Howard and Landon Donovan. So the first thing I would say, well, then, all these Evertonians who become Evertonians is because of those two players. So let's make sure we have them at these nights. This is where I still think the club can't see past what's, and that's I've got obviously nothing against
the club. Might have tried.
Not against, but you make sure that I don't care. You make sure that they're Leon Osman, great. Snods, Diamond, great. But I think for this particular event, you have to go all out and make sure Tim Howard's there.
Okay. Like last two, Brien is in Connecticut, and he'll be at the game in New Jersey. So we'll see you there.
What am I earning here? What am I earning here?
So just hang on, James, will you? And Gavin says, Baz, only question, do you have a wash bag? Yes, I do. It's not a leather Hackett one. No. Right, you could hear it then, as everyone could.
It's only you could hear it.
Okay. The inside.
Tim Howard is. Hang on, whoa. Tim Howard is not more synonymous with Manchester United.
Someone's winding you up.
No, but he's. Let's just put that. He's not. And by the way, if anyone thinks he is, then Everton have to make sure that that's not factual.
But he's not, though, is he?
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Man United's goalie for about a year.
He played 1 year.
Everton's keeper for
14 years, wasn't it? Felt like it.
2006 till 10 years.
Yeah.
He was Everton's goalie for. So, but listen, inside the game, current Bolton manager Stephen Schumacher, big Evertonian as well. Go over there, check it out. It's really good. He's brilliant on it. So go and give that a watch. And take it easy. Yeah, get Tim Howard at one of these.
I do trust him though, even though.
Because he's got using your let's I like Emma.
He's American though. He's American. That's slightly different.
Tremendous.
Slightly different.
And P. Macher says no Fletch, no Annabelle, no party. And on that note, see you all tomorrow. Bye.